Welcome to Mojo Travels, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 worst tourist traps in Europe.
Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojo Travels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at the most crowded and frustrating tourist attractions in Europe and why you should probably avoid them. We're not saying any of these attractions are bad, just that the good things about them are overshadowed by the volume of tourists. Let us know in the comments what your experience with these popular attractions have been like. Number 10. St. Basil's Cathedral, Russia. If you've seen a movie or a TV show set in Moscow, the chances are that the establishing shot featured Russia's most recognizable landmark, St. Basil's Cathedral in the capital. This striking Orthodox church has stood since the 16th century and remains a unique design, with its wondrous shapes and bright colours, right in the heart of the city in the Red Square. It's still a beautiful building and a major architectural accomplishment, stylistically unrivaled by anything else, but it's going to be surrounded by tourists at any given time. This can make visiting the cathedral, or indeed the Red Square itself, including another popular attraction, the Kremlin, frustrating. Plus, there are many more things to see and do in Moscow away from the places tourists flock to in droves. Number 9. La Rambla, Spain. Barcelona is one of Spain's biggest and most culturally important cities, which has long made it a magnet for tourism. People travel from far and wide to see marvels like Antoni Gaudi's Sagrada Familia Basilica, and to get fleeced by vendors on La Rambla. La Rambla is perhaps Spain's most famous street and has been home to historical attractions for hundreds of years, but today you'll find it overrun with expensive souvenir stores and subpar restaurants, all designed to convince tourists to part with their cash. Suffice it to say, if you head off the beaten path, you'll find all sorts of far more interesting and cheaper streets in Barcelona to spend your time. The problems in La Rambla became so severe that in 2020, plans were unveiled to totally revamp the area. Number 8. Chernobyl, Ukraine. War and extreme political tension aside, in recent years, the Chernobyl exclusion zone has become increasingly popular with tourists to Ukraine, to the extent that there are now plenty of companies offering tours, and there's even a visitors centre. However, while not too long ago it was still an unusual place to visit, in 2019 the Ukrainian government announced it would be becoming an official tourist attraction. This is all despite the fact that the exclusion zone is still extremely radioactive around the power plant, and you can't stay for longer than a day or two. With each passing year, it only gets more and more popular, and it may be one of the most macabre and dangerous tourist traps anywhere in the world. This also means that it's going to get increasingly expensive to book a tour of a derelict and deadly nuclear power plant in the coming years. Number 7. Blue Lagoon, Iceland. The lagoon is well renowned for its healing and beneficial properties, not to mention its striking appearance, and it's frequently recommended as one of Iceland's best attractions. But one thing you may not hear talked about as often is the price. Getting transport to the Blue Lagoon from Reykjavik will set you back $20 on its own, and after that, it's over $50 for even the most basic package. And this package only provides you with cream to use, you don't even get a towel. For that, you'll have to pay almost $70 for a package that also provides you with a drink. If you want a tour of the lagoon or some more luxurious options, you'll quickly face a bill that might rival the cost of your plane tickets or your hotel. Plus, it's guaranteed to be swarming with tourists most of the year. Number 6. The London Eye, UK. You likely won't find too many Londoners who recommend taking the time out of your day to ride the London Eye. Though it's a popular tourist attraction and allows a bird's eye view of one of the world's most famous skylines, it's almost certainly not worth the time or money you'll spend if you want to ride it, even if it does give you an experience of true British queuing. But it will cost you roughly $40 to ride it for 30 minutes, which will eat into your budget and time. You're much better off saving that money and spending it on something more rewarding, like entry to the Tower of London, which costs roughly the same, or even into one of London's many museums. Even better, save the money by going for a free museum instead, like the world-famous British Museum. Number 5. Temple Bar, Ireland. It's no secret that Ireland has a lot of pubs and bars, and the ones in Temple Bar in Dublin are some of the most popular. There is a pub in this area simply called the Temple Bar Pub, but all the venues in the neighbourhood are swamped with tourists for most of the year. That's why you might want to go somewhere else. Great as this cultural hub is, you're going to struggle to enjoy it when you have to wait half an hour to get served and have to fight your way to the bar. There are many more venues in Dublin that don't attract so many crowds, both historic and modern. It's still an incredible part of Dublin to visit, and you should definitely check it out if you're there, but give a smaller pub some attention when it's time for you to have your pint of Guinness. Number 4. The Acropolis, Greece. Athens is the birthplace of democracy, and the Acropolis sits high above the city as its cultural centre, once the symbolic home of the Greek goddess Athena. But there are a lot of downsides to visiting the Acropolis today. Accessibility is a big issue. Though there are elevators and ramps, it's still slow going for anybody in a wheelchair, for instance, or with other mobility issues to get to the top. And even for the able-bodied, there is a huge number of stairs you have to climb, and if you're in Athens in peak tourism season, it's going to be extremely warm. But because of its fame, it's also always absolutely full of other tourists, so you're going to struggle to have a meaningful experience, or feel satisfied with your trip to the ruins. Number 3. Leaning Tower of Pisa, Italy. There are no statistics for exactly how many people a day take a pose of themselves trying to push the Leaning Tower of Pisa back up, but we're sure it's a lot. Though the tower has a lot of history and is actually a large bell tower serving Pisa's cathedral, it's still overrun with tourists. But beyond gazing at the tower, there isn't an awful lot to do, and you shouldn't have to go so far away from Italy's major centres like Rome and Venice to do only that. While you can climb to the top of it, tickets come in at around €24, which has led to many people decrying the Leaning Tower of Pisa ultimately as a relative waste of time and money. Number 2. The Red Light District, Amsterdam. Though it's got a notorious reputation thanks to Amsterdam's extremely liberal laws and attitudes, if you head to the Red Light District now, you're going to see more tourists than entertainers in its streets. And worst of all, if you're there in the evening when all the famous lights are switched on, a lot of those tourists are going to be drunk and rowdy. It's also one of Amsterdam's most overpriced districts because of its popularity and the tourist draw it has. If you want to visit an authentic bar in this wonderful city that won't break the bank, you're better off looking for somewhere further afield where you'll get more bang for your buck. In fact, in early 2021, Amsterdam announced that the more X-rated attractions of the street were going to be moved out of the city centre, largely because of those misbehaving tourists. Number 1. The Mona Lisa, France. Paris has a lot of attractions you're better off avoiding. You'll have a better time if you stay at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower than pay for entry to climb up it, for instance. And the Mona Lisa is no exception. We're not really recommending you avoid the Mona Lisa, but the truth of the matter is that many of the tourists who visit the Louvre, which is the world's most visited museum, rush all the way through just to see the famous painting, and don't stop to look at anything else. The Louvre is home to hundreds, if not thousands, of iconic works of art, including other paintings by Da Vinci, sculptures by Michelangelo, and the most famous statue, the Venus de Milo. Visit the Mona Lisa by all means, but take the opportunity to truly see everything else the Louvre has on display.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Mojo Travels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.